action!
Hazbin Hotel is a fun and colorful series about redemption and friendship, filled with all sorts of wacky characters. That said, it's not safe to throw on as a means of babysitting an iPad kid. After all, animation is for adults too. And this show is as raunchy as HE double hockey sticks is hot. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge. And these are 7 sinful reasons Hazbin Hotel is not for kids. And it's awesome. Also, spoilers ahead. So let's start out with the violence. Now granted, that's something you can see a lot of in cartoons, even kids shows like Tom and Jerry or Looney Tunes. But given the setting of literal hell, you can imagine Hazbin has more than its fair share of it. Casual weapon use seems to be a favorite, from Angel's four-armed firearm skills to Cherry Bomb staying very true to her name. It's less portrayed as a danger and more as an everyday occurrence. This show takes the classic "don't try this at home" message and runs with it. But when it comes to violence, nothing beats good old-fashioned body horror.
Weird, but there's a kink for that, I'm sure.
Some of the most memorable scenes in that regard include Lute ripping Vaggy's eyeball out when she spares a demon, Alistair and Valentino repeatedly threatening Husk and Angel respectively, and unfortunately, we'll have to get back to the latter in a while. And of course, the absolutely brutal beatdown Adam received by the hands of Lucifer, and then Nifty dealing the finishing blow. Oh, and we can't forget Alistair's afternoon snack of a freshly slaughtered deer. In fact, knowing him, it might not be slaughtered. But let's pivot and take a look at the largest and most infamous category, and probably the one that we shamelessly put in our YouTube thumbnail. The amount of sexual jokes and references in the series is off the charts. And while there are only 8 episodes of the series so far, not including the pilot, there's no shortage of raunchy humor that would make the average episode of Family Guy look like a Nick Jr. show in comparison. It's not even a shock value aspect, since the show takes place in hell. It's more of a simple expectation. We could probably, no, definitely make a whole video about these innuendos by themselves, but instead we've decided to go through a highlight reel of our favorites, from cleanest to dirtiest. One slimy individual. The show wasted no time getting into dirty humor. During the first song in the first episode, Happy Day in Hell, Charlie is confronted mid-song by a giant slug who requests that she touch his parts. Unlike the gentlemanly Sir Pentious, he is far from tactful with his approach, and we'd say he could use a stay at the hotel. But we also don't like the idea of him sleeping in the same building as the main character. Sir Pentious' acting. During the crazy Broadway-level performance between Sir Pentious and Angel in episode 2, Sir Pentious resists the charm of Angel and his offer of the, quote, devil's dandruff. I guess that's actually a drug reference.
Say no to drugs!
But Sir Pentious wouldn't have time because he's too busy not having sex before marriage. Or is he? In episode 6, he tries repeatedly and unsuccessfully to pick up Cherry Bomb at a club, with zero room for mistaking his intentions. It starts with him offering to buy her a drink, only to play it off by offering to buy everyone in the club a drink. But eventually, when he asks her if she'd like to, quote,
do a sex with me,
he plays this off by, you guessed it, offering to have sex with everyone in the club. Does Vox really hate Alistair? The obvious answer is yes. Yes, he does. But let's go deeper. In Stayed Gone, the song he unwillingly shares with Alistair, Vox shows off his artistic talent with a slanderous drawing of our favorite diabolical radio host. And you'll notice that he suspects his staff is a dildo. If that weren't enough, when he witnesses Alistair getting brutalized by Adam in the season finale, he's given a hard-on by his own admission. It may be a literal hate boner, but it's a boner nonetheless. Which brings us to the BDSM club. It says a lot when the show that takes place in hell can still make many people feel more uncomfortable than usual, like the BDSM club that Angel takes the hotel to in episode 3 to practice trust exercises.
no bond stronger than those formed through bondage.
While yes, we would imagine that BDSM requires a lot of trust, we're not sure it's gonna help you earn a ticket to heaven. Then again, maybe it will. Lucifer's threat. When Lucifer shows up to the final battle, he's so ready to annihilate Adam that he forgets one very crucial word from his threat.
And now I am going to you.
At least buy him an apple first, Lucifer. Val's threats are a bit freakier though. When the V's are brainstorming how to keep Alistair and Charlie from rising to power with the hotel, Valentino's suggestion to, quote,
Put something inside them.
gives Vox inspiration to send Serpentius in as a spy. This wasn't Val's plan though. By his own admission, that's just how he gets his employees to behave. And of course, just angel dust. We'd be doing Angel a big disservice if we boiled his character down to just being about sleazy sex jokes. That said, it is still a pretty huge part of his character. His first major scene in the full series is him pitching the idea of using his, quote, celebrity, aka being an adult film star, status to help advertise the hotel. He says he's got it all, including, and I quote, the chest fluff everyone thinks are tits.
Come on, keep talking dirty.
In any case, practically every other line from this character is promiscuous, at least for the first half of the season, even to the point where his idea of a show and tell entry is showing the hotel one of his proudest performances. And if there's one thing the show is more infamous for than that, it's the crazy amount of swearing, like Scorsese levels of profanity. We're not trying to give the show or its writers grief for how much vulgarity is in it. After all, it takes place in hell. It wouldn't make sense for it to not be vulgar. But even taking that into consideration, the amount of swearing here is just... it's actually kind of impressive. If you brought a swear jar into this series, you could quit your day job. It's so infamous that it spawned memes that imagine what would happen if other shows were written by vivziepop. And no disrespect to her or the show. If anything, the series is very self-aware of its profanity. An official ad posted on Twitter for the series actually counted all the swears in the entire season. 302 to be exact. And just for fun, we decided to do some extra calculations. 302 swears over the course of 8 episodes. That's an average of 37.75 swears per episode. And each episode goes for about 22 minutes before the credits roll. Over the full course of the series, that totals out to an average of 1.72 swears per minute. So you'll be hearing a swear word every 35 seconds.
Well, this just got interesting.
And to be honest, that's actually less than what we expected. So vivziepop, if you're watching this, that's a challenge for season 2. Now, as you can probably guess from the last 2 entries, dark humor is this series' bread and butter. We mentioned the BDSM club earlier, but there's another setting that's much more morbid. Enter Cannibal Town. While most of the locals are surprisingly friendly, this is an entire territory of hell reserved for, well, cannibals. Even Rosie, nice as she may be, offers Charlie some pinky fingers as a snack, which Charlie very politely declines. This is just one of many examples of the show's morbid sense of humor.
Alistair, you could learn a thing or two.
It can range from cynical, like Husk and Angel singing a heartfelt duet about how much their lives suck, to downright freaky, like Nifty's determination that the bugs won't be winning the war for long. Or really just Nifty in general. But let's take a closer look at the story's setting. Hell, as fun and goofy as the show usually is, it also contains some interesting religious commentary. While Hazbin Hotel is definitely most well known for its raunchy, profane sense of humor, its focus on world building and lore is nothing to sleep on. To fully understand it though, you've got to take into account vivziepop's inspiration from and subversion of religious lore, particularly Christianity. Popular biblical figures like Adam, the first human man, and Lucifer, the fallen angel and root of all earthly evil, are present in the story, but their stories are changed significantly. In this universe, Eve was actually Adam's second wife after Lilith, who ended up having a fling with Lucifer and bringing our lovable hellborn princess into the world. In many ways, it turns the contemporary heaven and hell message on its head by showing corruption on the angel's side and some sympathy on the demons. But to play devil's advocate, or angel's advocate, for a moment, the show actually isn't as counter-Christian as you might expect. While it isn't a Sunday school lesson by any means, the story is about Charlie building a hotel to redeem sinful demons who have been ostracized by the higher-ups of their world, in the hopes that they can enjoy a happy eternity in heaven. Call us crazy, but isn't there a character in the Christian faith whose main goal is also to redeem sinners in a fallen world so they can reach heaven? The name's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, and that's not to mention the symbolic irony of Serpentius, a literal serpent, being the first sinner demon to be fully redeemed and make it to heaven.
I didn't think this would ever happen.
This may not be a show for all ages, but it's one that all religions can enjoy. Now, we've been having a lot of fun so far, but it's time to get to the darker side of the series. In this section, we'll be talking about the various kinds of trauma the characters experience. While Hazbin Hotel is a dark comedy, there are plenty of moments where it takes itself much more seriously. Charlie's daddy issues come to mind, as do her daddy's struggles with depression. Husk accurately traces Charlie's goal of fixing other people's problems back to Lucifer's absence throughout most of her life.
You got daddy issues?
And likewise, said absence caused by the divorce with Lilith brought Lucifer even deeper into despair, after already being cast out of heaven. But the more controversial, hard-to-swallow aspect is the show's depiction of sexual abuse and assault, most notoriously with the character of Valentino, who happens to be Angel's boss and the owner of his soul. In contrast to Valentino's usual over-the-top, almost idiotic demeanor, when he and Angel are alone on screen together, he's portrayed as a terrifying menace who towers over his victim. Many have praised the show for how it handles SA, as a lot of other forms of media have either glamorized it or underplayed its severity. And that's the perfect segue to our final category. When you have a show about hellbound demons looking to make their way to heaven, you're bound to have no shortage of controversies. Staying on the topic of Angel, he's definitely the series' most controversial character, especially in recent weeks, where his song Poison in the 4th episode divided fans. We mentioned earlier that many praised how his story handled the trauma he experienced, though some were critical of the music video, which they claimed glamorized Angel's experience, mainly due to his confident and promiscuous performance. That said, we would argue that the whole point of that episode was to show that Angel's promiscuity was a facade he came up with to cope with what he was suffering from his boss, aka the absolute furthest thing from glamorizing it. I mean, his character literally breaks down at the end of the song.
I need a drink. The hottest you can make.
While the praise outweighs the controversy, as with anything eccentric and popular as Hazbin Hotel, there will always be controversy surrounding it, even when that controversy deliberately sidesteps what the scene was actually trying to do. And if the controversy isn't about the series, then about the very strange decisions its fans tend to make. So let's move to a more lighthearted one. And yeah, you already know where we're going with this. In our Good to Evil video, we made a quick mention of what we'll call the Verbalese 50K incident, where the YouTuber in question commissioned an animated music video of Charlie chasing him to the song Hideaway. And really, every joke we could make has been said 1,000 times already. So we'll just say that while we aren't sticking up for the business decision, this is America, and who are we to tell you how to spend your money, guy?